Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and once again it is time for a GPP workout, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like and drop me a comment down below. I'd appreciate it so much. So changing stuff just a little through here, back and forth. I think people have to remember that with GPP, don't get too set into a routine. So again, I didn't do any weighted carries for just a bit, and I realized it's going a little too heavy on them in terms of just my axial fatigue, but my back feels good. Everything feels good, so I worked them back in, and of course they felt just fine. The thing is, just don't overdo them. So I didn't go, crazy heavy today, right? Like 90 pounds a hand, right? It's like 90 pounds in each hand. It's fine. Run out and get it done. So a couple rounds of these. Again, it's just good for my grip training, good for my core. And I like it for the extra grip work. I do everything raw, all my pulling, all my deadlifting, pull-ups, everything are done raw. But I like the little bit of extra grip work, and I feel like it carries over a lot. But I just did 2 rounds, so it wasn't too intense. I wanted to focus a little more on the sprinting and throwing today, which is pretty much was the name of the game. So we just did the 2 rounds of weighted carries just to get some in, right? Just to get it in. But again, I like the grip training, and there's going to be days where I push this a little bit harder. And I didn't do the curls in here. I realized I almost want to experiment with the idea of, someone said, I've had people give me a hard time. They're like, you should train your arm. If you trained your arms like you trained your legs, because they don't know what I do, so they only see the video footage and the pictures, then, you'd have way bigger arms. So it's like, interesting. I don't bodybuild for my legs, by the way, so that's kind of why that's interesting. What muscle do I really train like a bodybuilder? My arms. Like I train my arms like a bodybuilder, and they always like. So it's like, why don't I treat my arms like I treat my legs? Just forget isolation and high reps completely. You don't need it. I mean, other than our conditioning work, might be the way that I go. I mean, other than I don't want to pull band press downs out. But what does that mean? We don't do crazy volumes, right? I have never needed 20 sets for my legs in my life. I mean, even now, what do we do? 1 set of squats. We'll do like 3 rounds of sled sprints like you saw here. But even if we add that up, let's say we do 3 really hard sets of squats a week. And then we do 3 sets of the sled sprints twice a week. That's 9 sets for my quads. Are we counting deadlifts too? Maybe. I guess we could count deadlifts. So deadlifts worked in. It's 12 total sets. If I don't do any jumping. That's it. So either 9 or 12 sets, depending on if you want to count deadlifts. No isolation. But I don't want to take isolation out of our arms. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe if I just pushed really heavy chins and a very low volume of curls. I quit doing all the band work and other stuff for my biceps. Right? Quit trying to do huge amounts of sets. Maybe I just overtrain. I always kind of say that as a coach. I probably overtrain my arms. Right? Realistically speaking, total reps, total sets. I probably overtrained my biceps, to be fair. I don't know. I wonder what would happen if I treated them like my legs. Because we see what my legs look like. Maybe. Might give it a try. But the main thing is just really hard sets, limit the volume, focus on progressive overload. All right, for the throws, I did med ball tosses. I did 6 triples on these. So again, I wanted to focus on these. Were short breaks. This is a real quick workout. This is not a long workout at all. But I wanted to do the throws, and I wanted to do some overhead work, because I can still go a little harder on the shoulders. I can do pump work for the shoulders. But I almost feel like with the arms, I need to chill with some of that. Maybe just do my big movements, focus on progressive overload. I've thought about just really pushing chins hard. I mean, if I wanted to treat my biceps like my legs, if people are like, well, train them like your legs. Because is it just my leg genetics, or is it my whole body genetics? Is it because modern bodybuilding doesn't really work without tons of drugs? Maybe I try to bodybuild my arms too much. I know as a coach, like if I had a client want to do the amount of arms I do, I would probably be like, dude, you're overtraining them. Stop. Might not be ideal. And I've had people come to me who chasing aesthetics who do just tons of pump work for their arms and they're not getting the results they want. So maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to push that progression. Treat my extensions the same way. Maybe I don't need all those band press downs. Maybe just one set here or there. Do one set of extensions for progress, bench hard, and call it quits. Might actually work. I feel like my triceps are limiting my benching at the moment. So just stuff to think about, guys. Stuff I might think about. But the med ball tosses, I like these. They feel great. They feel great on my shoulders. And that's a big deal for me. I really like how they feel on my shoulders in addition to being full body explosive movement. But I almost wonder if just for a phase, what if I just, focus on progressive overload on curls, don't do more than 6 sets a week. Like seriously, just cap it at 6. What if I did maybe some chins? So that would be about like my leg volume. What if I did chins instead of pull-ups and just went really heavy, didn't try to do 12s or 15s like I do with the weighted chins. Let's throw a little weight on, maybe do some 6 to 8 reps. Put some actual weight on, do chins that way. Maybe. Worth considering. All right, but the shoulders though, I am doing all this volume. I like a lot of reps, like I'm doing 20 plus rep sets to failure of laterals. So I feel like here at the end of the GPP, doing some overhead pressing, because again, we want to work on restoring that range of motion. So just doing lots of overhead work, even with lighter weight, it's going to help me with that range of motion, that ability to eventually lock out again. We know that's a priority for me. So I did 2 sets, but I got to 20s this time. I've not got 20s with these. I've done like 15s. I did 3 sets of 15 not that long ago with these kettlebells. But 2 sets of 20, so we're getting more reps. I'm getting stronger at the overhead work. Slowly but surely, it's just coming along. So again, I did 20 with each arm for 2 sets. So again, let's just keep building that overhead strength. That's the only way I'm going to get the ability to lock out again, is going to be just pushing stuff into that position as far as I can go over and over and locking as hard as I can. Doing my dead hangs on chin-ups and pull-ups and just continue to do dynamic stuff. Because we know stretching doesn't work for me. If stretching worked, I would have amazing overhead mobility again. Dead hangs, weighted dead hangs. None of it's never done anything. Mobility stretches, angel stretches, all sorts of stuff. Wall slides. None of this stuff works. Doesn't do anything. My experience. So I did this, and I did 1 set of hanging leg raises to call it a day. So again, I'll just wind it down here. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals the next time.